This is the beginning of recording number 1 of the Lemay Leveller. I've got headphones on at the moment. I really don't like turning off my music. I get caught into my music. So through the graces of technology, I have headphones on through my laptop and I'm recording into my phone. So I do own a fancy microphone, but at the moment I'm going straight into the phone and we'll see how that goes. I'm just going to read out a little bit of my book here, and I think I will go ahead and carry on doing this off and on and see if anybody enjoys listening to it. Okay. We jest that my life began when I was 15, as if until that magical year I was simply slumbering through life, closing my eyes to so much around me, whilst it all crushed and burned. It's for good reason when, in 1994, aged 15, that it was as if I was struck by lightning, and the illumination cast upon everything surrounding me demanded that I steer my life in a drastically different direction. I left my mother's house for good, never having felt at home with her in the first place, determined that from that point onwards I would never again fall under her control. I fell catastrophically in love with Troy Taylor, 6 years my senior. I slept under a bridge, got arrested for the first time, discovered punk music, and had completely unprecedented fun. I was actually born in St. Louis, Missouri in 1979, age 0, coming out squalling 6 weeks early in the middle of winter. However, I'm still not convinced that that was where I and my fate truly began either. I'm going to bring everyone down with me on this ride, and I won't flinch when it's my turn to have mud on my face. And so here it is. I have made public record the parts of my life of which I am most ashamed and terrified. No longer are my memories locked inside my head. In some ways, it would be easy to think I'm acting against my own best interests writing this, and recording it out loud again, I may add. It might also be assumed I'm doing it vindictively, both true and untrue. I have a plan, purpose, and reason. I must make good from bad. I'm taking straw and spinning it into gold. Some names have been changed to protect the innocent, dead, and litigious. The rest are left to hold their own. When I was born, I had what most American children reasonably expect to have. I had a mother and a father who had met and married 12 years before my birth, during their years at university after the Vietnam War. A sister, Elaine, was 5 years old and waiting to greet me. A house, family pets, and an extended family, all mine for the taking. Between my sister's birth and mine, there had been several miscarriages and one medically induced abortion. Gruesome facts that I was regularly reminded of. So mine was by no means an accidental pregnancy. They were trying for a second child, and I was the mark of a successful venture. Or maybe I was just the baby that escaped through the net. Maybe they were banking on a boy the second time around. Upon further reflection, I think that is the answer. Whatever the desires of my parents related to my conception, within a year of my birth, my dad, a Vietnam War hero and alcoholic, suddenly left my mum and her 2 children. After that, Elaine and I were only his for a few hours several times a year. My parents were granted joint custody in the court, but it was tacitly agreed that my father abdicated any parental responsibility in favor of overly generous child support payments. That was his choice. He openly found fatherhood repugnant. Nor did my mother relish motherhood. We were constantly reminded of the sacrifices she suffered in being the parent lumped with the children. Her inability to cope as a single parent and my father's almost complete absence was to be the entire foundation of my childhood. He quickly remarried a lovely lady named Karen. Thankfully, I have no memory of life without her. Karen was a blessing, always acting as my father's mouthpiece and propaganda device. Without her, our strained and irregular visits with my foreboding father would have been experiences even more painful than they were destined to be. And I would never have had any prettily wrapped Christmas presents sent from them. Little glimpses of what it would be like to be a child raised by wealthy parents. For my mother, no matter how high the child support payments or her personal income, never spared any money on her children. She shopped for designer clothes for herself. She said she had to have the right image to get ahead in the world. We were neatly kept indoors, wearing any ill-fitting, uncomfortable, and out-of-date clothing that was donated when she put on the starving single mother routine to all and sundry.